Hello everyone, so today I'm going to show you how to draw this landscape. First off, divide the canvas with a line, then fill in the canvas with a dark blue color of your choice. Then pick a darker blue color and with the gradient tool, make the edges darker. Clean up the color that enters into the other part of the line you drew, as that part will be for the sea. You can use the gradient tool with this dark color on separate layers so that you can rearrange them the way you want. Merge these layers together and blend them. Now create a new layer and set its color dodge. And with the airbrush soft and a lighter blue color, make the center of the canvas lighter. Using the blender blur, blend everything out. And with the eraser soft, you can clean up the parts that are too bright. On a new layer with the texture big brush, choose a dark blue color and draw the clouds. Then create another layer and set its color dodge, and we're going with a light blue color this time. With the same texture big brush, just draw the highlights of the clouds. Using the airbrush soft with reduced opacity, just go over these highlights. Now with the airbrush soft and a very dark blue color, just give details to the clouds and make the edges of the sky darker. Reduce the opacity of the color dodge layer for the highlights to about 80%. For this part where you see the stars, you don't have to worry because I will draw them later on in the video. I would leave a timestamp in the description so you can know where to go if you want to draw the stars first, but it's not really important. I recommend you follow on with the rest of the video, and when you get there, you draw the stars. Just go ahead and add more details and highlights till you feel it's okay. I changed the background color to a different shade of dark blue because the previous one was not what I wanted. Next, for the sea, create a new layer, then with the airbrush soft, paint over the part for the sea with the pale blue color. Then create a new layer and set it to multiply, and with a darker blue color, add some contrast. Switch the colors between the pale blue and the darker blue color till you get something like this. Now to blend, we're going to use the blender textured soft. You should always reduce the opacity if you don't want it to come off too strong. On a new layer and with the airbrush, choose a lighter blue color for the lighter parts of the sea. Blend out again using this blender textured soft. Clean out the edges so you can get a nice gradient. Then go over everything with the blender blower. The next step is to draw these rocks in the sea, and you do them on a separate layer with the airbrush soft and a dark blue color. I started out with black at first, but I noticed it was too dark, and then I set the layer to alpha lock and went over it with the dark blue color. And with the darker color and the airbrush soft, I made the parts closest to the water darker. Add shadows on the water with the dark blue, and then with the blender blower blend everything out. Create a new layer and set it to multiply, and then with a blue color just give the mid-tones of the sea. Typically, you should apply this color in places between the lightest parts and the darkest parts. Go back to the layer you painted the lightest parts and just adjust it. You can add or remove the color as you like. The next is to draw the lights. First, we start off with an orange color and apply it to the airbrush soft. Blend it out to the blender blower and just clean up the excesses with the eraser soft. Next, we're going for a pale pink color. We're just going to apply it slightly over the edges of this orange hue. It's ideal to create different layers for this so that you can easily change something on one layer if you don't like it. Erase some parts of the orange color on the sea, some of the parts that cover the mountains and the shadows. Reduce the opacity of the layer to 90%. Next, you want to create a new layer, and the color we are using is a mix between orange and yellow. Blur everything out. You can alternate between the blender textured soft and the blender blur on this. Next, create a new layer and set it to color dodge, and with a pale yellow, just create a circle at the middle of the line we drew. Different colors react differently depending on the blending layer you put them on. As you can see, the circle was on the color dodge layer, but this is on the normal layer. I changed the color of the circle, went for a more deeper yellow, and still on the color dodge layer I added white at the middle. Now we want to make the light appear at the front of this line, so it should be behind the line and at the front of the line. So just go and create a layer on top of the line, and with the white make a dot on it. We're just going back to the layer of the orange light, and we're trying to make it look more like a light flare. What I'm doing now is adding some details on this light reflection, adding more highlights, blending them all out with the blender blur and blender texture soft. I don't know if you realized, but the down part of the line, the part that enters the sea, is actually covered with a light reflection. You should do this on top of the line layer, the same layer where you added the white dots. So just cover the down part of the line with the yellow color. Now for the stars, I started with the texture star field and I went from blue to turquoise to white, just giving it a variety of colors. Then with the texture splat, I went over with the blue color. This was set to color dodge. I created another layer and set it to normal. This was where I used the white. I got the star effect by just alternating between blending modes. I put different colors of stars on different layers. There was the screen layer, the luminosity layer, the color dodge layer, and the normal layer. And as you know, different blending modes have different effects on various colors. I then cleaned the places where it seemed as if the stars were too much. I duplicated some layers just to make the stars look more intense. I cleaned up the excesses at the edge of the sky. Next, I did the highlights, and this was done on a color dodge layer. The blending was with the blender textured softs. Now for the layer of stars I set to luminosity, I just put it on alpha lock and then went over it with a light purple because I wanted some parts to be brighter than the others. Check the pinned comments for the names of the brushes I used if you didn't get them. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and leave a comment below.